Hey, this is Justin with DayTradeTheMarkets.com on Thursday the 13th. Today was an interesting day. Most of the week we've been pretty slow, choppy, consolidating, and we had a pretty major breakout here today on some monetary policy news. And we had some nice clues that the buyers were firmly in control on that way up. But I think on a day like today, it's obviously easy to see in hindsight, but on a day like today, when it's trading around so volatile as it was, I think the question is, where do you get in? You may have an up bias and you may know that the buyers are in control, and this software certainly makes that pretty easy to see. I don't want to get into that right now. I wanted to talk more philosophically, though, about some other ideas, and then give you a chance to look at some of our trade entry ideas if you're interested. The way that we look at the markets and the way that we talk about it when we teach is that we want to focus on putting the market in context first and then finding a trade entry. In other words, focus on direction, likely direction, and then hone in on trade location. Okay, and I think that that's the reverse of the way most losing traders do it. Most traders start out and they come up with rules for their trade setups, and the rules will be met, so they take the trade. And if the trade that they take happens to be in line with what the market's doing at that time, in other words, if the market is if it's a long trade and the market's going up or the market's trending, great. Or if if they're a reversal trader and the market's in consolidation, that's great. But it's kind of a little bit of a luck situation in that if their trade entry happens to match up with the context of the market, it works out. Otherwise, it's a loser. And we try to flip that idea on its head and try to make sense. And I think our tools help you make better decisions. But the idea is that we try to put the market in context first. Once we have a pretty good handle on the direction and the type of market that it is, whether it's a consolidating market, a reversing market, a trending or breakout market, once we have a good idea of that context, then we want to hone in on trade entry location. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm talking about in terms of context first, then trade entry location. But that certainly brings up the next question, which is, where do you get in? So again, like a day like today, you can assume you have a pretty good handle on the direction of the market, in that, at least the way that we look at the market, we had an upward bias heading into the day, and then the clues with the real-time aggression bars and so forth were pretty clear that buyers were in control. But it raises that question of, where do you get in? And so we have several trade entry ideas that we talk about, and we have in our training material. We have our continuation trades, our retracement trades. On days like today, that's what you would really be focusing on. And there's some really good opportunities today. But I thought, because it was kind of an interesting day, if you're interested in learning some of these trade entry concepts, and again, with the idea being that you don't just blindly take these trade entries, you put the market in context first. You use the tools to help you make sense of what the market's doing, and then you use one of these trade entry locations that happens to fit in with that idea. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you're interested, I thought I could take a page or two out of our training manual, and I'll send it over to you if you're interested. So just go ahead and send an email to info@daytradethemarkets.com, and also let us know any other questions that you might have as well. And I'll spend some time probably on Friday and get that back to you. I'll create a couple subsections of our training and send that over to you if you're interested. And I think you can use some of these ideas whether you have any interest in our software or not. I think they'll be very helpful. So just wanted to kind of talk about that idea. And if you're at all interested in this, I'll be happy to send over a couple sections of our training manual, and you can take a look. All right. Hope you have a good Friday, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.